I had a bullet in my pocket, but it was like it's not like I'm planning anything.
Oh,
I
okay.
dropped
Wait,
it on
so
the ground.
Check this back one.
Check this. Check that top.
School shootings are a serious and tragic issue affecting communities. They involve someone using a weapon to hurt others in school, and this epidemic has caused heartbreak and concern. Many work to find solutions, aiming to create safe environments where students can learn without fear. It's a shared responsibility to address this challenging problem, and every one of these moments is a true tragedy. Today, we'll have a look at some school shootings and the moments that changed people's lives forever. Anthony Lewis. On March the 8th of 2022, the Volusia County Sheriff's Department received a worrying call. Someone had shared a video on TikTok hinting that a high school student may have brought a firearm to school. This was a serious situation, and it made the police go into action right away. Once law enforcement had entered the gymnasium of the school, they immediately recognized the young man in question.
Are you? Come on. Sir? You know what I want to talk to you about? You don't know? Okay.
An officer then approached him and asked him to come over so that they could have a talk. In the process of questioning the student, the police took on a task that required them to be sensitive and delicate. And as they instructed the student to remove his backpack and take his hands out of his pockets, you could see that they were carrying out their responsibility with great care. However, this was only the beginning of their investigation, as this was the first step in the procedure aimed to ensure that the school remained secure.
Are you? Come on. Sir? You know what I want to talk to you about? You don't know? Okay.
When the student put his hands in his pockets, the police were left wondering if he was trying to conceal something or whether he was experiencing feelings of nervousness. After that, an officer related a story of a picture that went viral, which showed a youngster carrying a firearm in his pocket. The boy did not appear to feel any remorse for his actions, even after realizing he had been caught red-handed, and there was no way out. In the aftermath of the conversation, law enforcement asked the young man to lift his hoodie, which would reveal the presence of a handgun.
Okay. Do me a favor, just lift your sweatshirt up. Turn around for me. Turn around again. Lift your sweatshirt up again.
They then took immediate action after noticing the pistol in the possession of the suspect, and for the sake of ensuring the safety of everyone, they carefully pulled the boy's hands behind his back and secured them with handcuffs.
What is that? Relax. Okay?
One can only imagine what may have happened if the police officer had not been able to identify the boy or locate his weapon. While retaining their professionalism, they were able to detain the student without jeopardizing the safety of those who were around them. This would allow for a safe resolution to be reached. The subsequent actions, which involved escorting the student to the office for additional inquiry, demonstrated the high level of procedural thoroughness that law enforcement professionals possess. The boy would then be taken to the police station for additional examination and processing, because it was quite clear that the justice system would not be letting him off easy.
So we're going to go to my office and we're going to do the investigation. Okay? Hey, Coach, grab this bag for me.
Nolan Rosen. Pepper Pike High School gave a call to the police on May the 2nd of 2023, reporting the discovery of a bullet in the cafeteria. The police responded to the call and reached the school in record time. Lockdown procedures were put into place, and a comprehensive search of each and every child was initiated. During the search, authorities came upon Nolan Rosen, who claimed that he was not the kind of person who would ever imagine hurting anyone, let alone commit a school shooting.
It's about a bullet you found on the ground, right? I want you to worry. Oh, okay.
Somebody find something you know about?
Because I had a bullet in my pocket, but it was like it's not like I'm planning anything.
Oh,
I
okay.
dropped
Wait,
it on the
so
ground.
you okay?
But I didn't know I'm not allowed to bring a bullet.
The officer then led the student into the office to ensure that he didn't do anything fishy. He then questioned Nolan to say whether or not he had possessed a firearm. He asked him to come clean, even if he merely had a single bullet, and in his response, Nolan questioned the logic of anyone bringing a firearm to the school, implying he had no intention of using one, so there was no point in bringing one.
Be honest with me, you didn't bring any gun into school, did you?
No.
That's the only, you only had one round?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Got it.
wouldn't like bring a gun into school.
No, okay, I know. But
That's not my intention.
you know I gotta ask though, right?
A few moments before the search was conducted, he caved and revealed that he had 2 more rounds concealed in his pockets.
Oh, I got more bullets. I got 2.
Okay, don't put your hands in your pockets. Just keep your hands on the table. Just put them on the table. Just put them on the table for me real quick, okay? So I'm gonna have to search you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So you had 2 bullets in this one?
These are yours? Right here.
Okay, we'll get there, we'll get there. Okay.
Nolan made numerous attempts to convince the police that possessing the bullets was a means of reducing his concern regarding school shootings and making him feel more secure. However, they were not persuaded by his arguments. Over time, as the level of stress increased, Nolan eventually admitted that he had a firearm hidden in his vehicle.
In my car. Like, I don't bring it into school.
Is there a gun in your car right now?
Yeah. Let's go out.
So you'll stay.
Yeah.
Um,
They're in my bag.
Is
It's
there?
not an assault rifle. It's literally a .22 Henry repeating rifle.
I didn't ask.
For small game.
I just want to know if you have one there.
Not made to kill people.
Where are you parked?
I can show you.
What kind of car is it?
A black Chevy.
Chevy what?
Blazer.
Trailblazer?
Yeah, no, Chevy Blazer.
Where are your keys?
They're in one of those pockets. Or maybe,
I put all your stuff right here. You can put all that in the pocket if you want.
they should be in the bag though. Usually I just put the keys in my bag and then I'm good to go.
Do you have anything in your locker? Do you use your locker?
No, I don't use my locker.
Is there something you're afraid of in particular?
No, I literally it's literally just like a sentimental thing, kind of a.
Following the discovery of this alarming piece of information, the officers carried Nolan outside to conduct a search of his vehicle, where they discovered a repeating rifle with a .22 caliber barrel while they were searching. According to Nolan, he did not believe that he was breaking any laws, and he used his lack of understanding regarding the school's policy on firearms to be the reason for putting all of the students in danger.
It's right here.
Here's a damn rifle.
Yeah, just leave it right there for now. Yeah. It's basically like just a .22 rifle, right? Like something you shoot rabbits with.
The school officials began to discuss consequences that would be imposed for carrying a firearm within school grounds.
You are potentially facing a 10-day suspension and a recommendation for expulsion.
Wait, potentially what?
For guns, weapons, and disruption. So I just need you to sign here stating that I presented you with this.
Wait.
So it's a 10-day suspension, potentially. So we have to talk afterwards, but it's a possible 10-day suspension with a recommendation for expulsion for weapons, specifically guns and disruption.
So this is all policy based. It's not like.
Correct, yeah. So this is just signing that I presented you with this.
Alright. So just sign. So there's a policy that says I can't bring a gun on the parking lot.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, we'll get all that for you if you need down the road. But
They wanted to delay the school buses letting run on time.
I didn't see that policy.
Okay, like I said, I'm just presenting you with this right now.
Nolan would later be informed by the principal of the school that he was facing a 10-day suspension with a recommendation for expulsion owing to infractions linked to possessing a gun on school premises. His suspension would be accompanied by a referral for expulsion, and Nolan continued to argue that he believed it was acceptable to bring the rifle into the parking lot, despite the fact that he was facing disciplinary repercussions.
I have to go fill out the rest of it.
I didn't disrupt anything.
The whole school was on lockdown, buddy. I'd call that about as big of a disruption as you could have.
Alright, sorry. Well, the problem wasn't bringing the gun. The problem was I dropped the bullet in the hallway. That was the problem. Pretty much.
Regardless, you can't bring a firearm on school property.
Yeah, you're right. It's their policy.
I understand how it makes you feel as a Like, but you said you have an anxiety? Like,
I just feel more, like it just gives me something to rely on.
Okay.
Later, Rosen calls the weapon his best friend before inaccurately arguing there's no law against bringing a gun to school.
Like when people say like your rifle, your gun's your best friend, like that's how I felt. I don't know. I was just like kind of attached to the idea of defending myself. It's kind of why I carried it around too.
It would be made clear by the police that it was against the law in the state of Ohio to bring a firearm onto school premises where there's a designated safety zone. The authority of the police was called into question by Nolan, who was sure that there was no such statute. And in spite of protest, the police informed him he would be charged with violating the state legislation which prohibits the possession of a lethal weapon within a school safety zone.
I mean, it's a policy, so it doesn't matter anyway. But I think you're wrong.
Nolan was eventually arrested as a result of his persistent arguments and his reluctance to respect the law. He was then taken to the police station after having his Miranda rights read to him. In spite of his claims that the law was fabricated, the officers would emphasize that they were operating within the confines of the law in order to guarantee the safety of the school environment.
We respect your rights, okay, as a person. Stand up. Put your hands behind your back.
You said I can
Put
wait
your hands
for-
behind your back.
I'm telling you, I respect you.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Stand by.
Can he have this bag?
We're gonna do it right here, okay? We will treat. Listen.
No, I love. No,
Okay.
I respect my police.
I understand. I understand that. You're safe with us, okay?
Nolan began to cry while being arrested and argued that the policemen were making a wrongful arrest based on allegations that were not true.
Just take a breath.
You're just arresting me on a charge that's made up. I know. You are though. It's made up.
It's been in
It's
law
made
for
up.
a long
No, it's
time.
made
We
up,
wouldn't
dude.
Make up things.
It's
we
made
don't
up.
have the authority to make things up.
Both the possession of a lethal weapon in a school safety zone and the induction of panic are charges that have been brought against Nolan. And in the event that he's found guilty of these allegations, he may be subject to a sentencing of more than 1 year in prison. The fact of the matter is that currently he's been released on bond while awaiting further judicial action. This incident brought to light the complexity that is associated with the possession of firearms on school grounds, as well as the difficulties that law enforcement face when individuals may be unaware of or contemptuous of the laws and policies that are in place. Franklin High School. A student would be summoned to the principal's office at Franklin High School on May the 18th of 2018 because the administrator noticed he was emitting a fragrance similar to that of marijuana. Before the personnel began checking his rucksack, the student revealed that he was carrying a weapon and that it was loaded. A fast notification was sent to the police department, and officers arrived on the scene to conduct an investigation.
Check this back one.
Check this. Check that top.
Police officers, upon examining the contents of the youngster's backpack, came to the conclusion that it was essential to perform a more comprehensive search of the boy.
Got anything on me that's gonna poke me, stick me, hurt me?
In the footage, the child claims that he was unaware of the gun that was concealed in his backpack when he was being questioned.
And then they came down and they searched me. Then there was a gun in my backpack, and I did not know nothing about it. And I was lost and confused about everything. And then they called you guys down.
The child related a story when he was questioned about the circumstances behind the gun's presence in his rucksack, and according to the boy, he had stopped by at his cousin's place, and that's probably how it ended up in there.
Came back when I woke up to school, grabbed it, left, came here.
What's your cousin's name?
Ronald.
What's Ronald's last name?
Molle.
Do you know how to spell it?
M-O-L-L-E-R.
M-O-L-L-E-R-E?
Yes.
Do you know his middle name?
No.
How old is he?
25.
He's 25. Where does he live?
He lives in Des Moines.
In Des Moines. You spent the night there last night?
Yes, sir.
Who else was with you?
Just me and him.
Afterwards, the policeman stated that the students had informed them that he had mentioned the possibility of a firearm being present in his backpack, to which he responded with an odd assertion.
Just you and him? Okay. So, they're saying that you said there might be a gun in my backpack.
No, I said there might be weed in my backpack. I was referring to the weed the whole time. I did not know there was weed in my backpack.
Okay.
The officer, upon observing a credit card that did not belong to the young man, inquired as to why he was in possession of the card of someone else. In response, he devised an additional justification, asserting that the wallet was a brand new one and that the credit card had always been there. But anyone who saw the wallet could tell that it was worn and old.
That, I don't know. I had a new wallet. Picked it up from my house. It's always been in there. Never used it.
You realize it's a crime just to possess somebody else's credit card? This isn't a new wallet, man. This wallet's...
As the police proceeded to carry out the arrest, they calmly instructed him to turn around and face the wall.
No, I didn't check it this morning.
Okay, go ahead and stand up for me. Face the wall. Okay, you're under arrest, okay?
Firearm is stolen, so you're in possession of a stolen firearm. That is what you are under arrest for right now. It's a felony. Good? You understand?
Those aren't too tight, are they alright?
Need your keys? This is information you needed.
Can you put my paper in my pocket?
I got that.
What was that? I can't put anything back in your pocket.
An official from the school took advantage of the opportunity to provide the youngster with an accurate account of the events that had taken place while he was sitting in the police vehicle. They offered their point of view on the circumstances surrounding the incident, revealing the actual sequence of events. The student was then taken into custody under the charges of unlawful possession of a firearm, as well as theft of goods, and any charges relating to firearms that were associated with a stolen firearm attracted a minimum punishment of 5 years in state prison, with a maximum sentence of 10 years. Concerns were voiced at the prospect of having to deal with a convicted felon, but everyone was relieved that a potential threat had been neutralized before something terrible happened. Devin Thompson. On July the 18th of 2023, the Duval County Police would swiftly respond to a distress call detailing a violent clash between two rival football teams. The situation had escalated to a dangerous level, with reports indicating the involvement of firearms. Upon arriving at the scene, officers would be met with a tumultuous and chaotic sight. A 15-year-old student by the name of Devin Thompson was seen openly firing into the crowd. A chase after the student then commences, with officers attempting to employ tasers in their efforts to bring an end to the situation. And while everything was going on, Devin continued firing his weapon, causing panic and chaos.
Hey, white shirt! Oh! What a gun!
As the police commenced a foot chase, firing back at Devin to defend themselves, they screamed at the young man to drop his weapon and get on the ground. The police were fully aware of the potential threat, but despite that, they decided to commence a pursuit and go after the young man. Additional gunshots could be heard in the footage during the chase, indicating how dangerous the situation was. One of the officers would yell at Devin to put his weapon down to try and warn him, and police were confronted with a precarious situation in which prompt and decisive action would be required. They were motivated to take action to keep the shooter from getting away, but also knew it would be essential to protect the innocent individuals who were in proximity.
Hey!
Paying no heed to the repeated warnings, Thompson kept trying to avoid being captured. However, the officers were also in no mood to let this violent criminal escape. The cat and mouse chase continued on, while the police were asking him to drop his weapon and surrender. As a result of Thompson's apparent refusal to comply with instructions, the police were forced to make the difficult decision to use deadly force. One officer pinned him down, bringing an end to the fast and chaotic chase, and these chilling moments marked a crucial point when the officers apprehended Thompson, ensuring that he was no longer presenting an immediate threat to others. Afterwards, he would be taken into custody.
To the dailies!
During the time that the officers are attempting to handcuff him, Devin claims that he was hit in the head. After the incident, police officers redirected their attention to offering assistance to victims. Medical aid would be provided to one of the officers who had sustained injuries, and his co-workers worked rapidly to cut through his trousers and remove his garments in order to evaluate the severity of his injuries while identifying the extent of the damage he had sustained.
Get on the fucking ground now! I'll fucking kill you! Don't you fucking move!
You got him?
Grab him.
You got him?
Yeah.
In the aftermath of the incident, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office conducted an investigation into the officer-involved shooting, and it's been determined that the individual in question was only 15 years old. In addition to being hit twice in the lower body, he also received a bullet to the head, and while Thompson was in critical condition, the Fire and Rescue Department took him to the hospital so that he could receive treatment for his injuries. He had a firearm that had been reported stolen, and multiple charges were brought against him, which included carrying a concealed firearm and discharging a firearm on school property.
Handcuff. Neither do I. Mine's on the other guy. Put him on.
You're hit?
Who's hit?
He.
Where are you hit? My head. Your head? Yes. Hold on. Hit me in my head. And right here. Where? On your hip? Yeah. Where? Hey, is that the gun? Yes. His gun's on him. Did you shoot yourself? No, you shot me. Somebody shot me.
When school shooters are arrested in the act, it serves as a terrifying reminder of how important law enforcement is in keeping schools safe. These incidents highlight the critical need for preventative actions while improving public awareness in order to prevent similar catastrophes.
Don't move.
I know.
Just calm down. Here. Hey, I'm sorry, I gotta pull your pants down.
Where's the firearm?
Right here. Grab it.
Here, he's in his hip. I don't know how you can get it.
The quick response of police officers during these emergencies emphasizes the value of their training and commitment to public safety.